there, it's Mrs. Anglade. This project is the shark project, which we'll model first and then obviously animate. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is bring the shark background image that's going to help us to shape our shark. So if you've not downloaded the shark background and saved it to your H drive from the Student Learning Hub, go and do that now because that's the next step. So we're in 3D view right now, so we're going to go into UV image editor, which will bring up this blank spot. I'm going to go to image and I'm going to go to open image. And so what I'm going to do now is I am going to go find my image. Yours is probably going to, well, it should be on your H drive. Mine is in a little bit different spot, so I am finding that right now. A few more clicks than you need to do. Blender, shark, there we go. I believe it is this one. Yep, that is the one that we need. Okay, so now that we have that, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to 3D view because now it's in our image editor that we can add it. We need to open up our properties menu. So remember, you can either press N or you can hit this right here. And just like we did with our yellow sub, we're going to hit display. Not display, background images, I'm sorry. Background images, where is that? There we go. And let's go ahead and turn that on because we want it to be on. We're going to add image, and then remember we brought that into our UV editor, and so we are going to add that image. They did talk about the opacity. We want to bring that opacity down to 0.4. 0.4, so it's not as dark. And I believe that's all we need to change on there. So we are in perspective mode right now. So if we go into ortho mode by hitting 5, we can see that we're ortho mode. And I'm going to go to front view. That is the only view that we are going to want to see the shark in. So up here where it says all views, let's click on that. Okay. Okay, so now that we did that, we are going to actually use this cube to model our shark. So over in the Transform Properties panel, we want to set the scale of X, so make sure, because there's lots of X's over here, the scale of X to a 0.5. And notice how it got a little bit thinner there. We're going to go ahead and change this object title to shark. And I just double clicked on that cube over there in your outliner panel. So that's going to be our shark. And then we're going to make sure and go into wireframe mode. Whoops. That's not it. Z. Okay. Then we're going to move this back to the tail. Right, just like that. So I'm using my blue and red, and I'm making sure that my, like it's centered right here at the tail. All right, so now we're going to go into edit mode. So tab into edit mode, and we want to deselect all the vertices. So A, we're going to box select the row of vertices on the right. All right, now what we're going to do is going to be really easy actually, is we are going to hit the E key followed by the X key, which it looks like, there we go, and then by 1, okay, and then just set it down by hitting enter. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is EX1 enter, EX1 enter, and you're just going to keep on doing the EX1 enter until you get to the nose of the shark. EX1 enter, and one more EX1 enter. Okay, so our nose is a little bit too far, so we're just going to use our red widget arrow, and we are going to move that back just a little bit. There we go. All right, so now we're going to shape the shark. So we are going to A that, so we can deselect it, and we're going to box select, and we are going to scale. So we're going to press S, and we're going to scale that down. Okay, A, box select the next ones, scale it down. And now it might not fit perfectly, so we might have to just move it up or down. There, I think that might be good. Okay, I'm going to do one more set of these. So I hit A, and now I'm going to box select with B. And then I'm going to scale, and then I'm going to pause the video here for the recording so that you can go ahead and do yours. I think you have enough direction. I'll maybe move it up just a little bit. Okay, so go ahead and do the rest, including the nose of the shark, and I will do the same, and I will be back after I've done all that. Okay guys, so I'm back, and so this is what my final modeling looks like after I've scaled and done everything. So hopefully yours looks relatively close to that. So the next thing we want to do, believe it or not, that got us to page 18 of the modeling instructions. So let's go ahead and save as. I'm still on my castle, so I'm going to back out of that and then go into my shark project. So you would, if you've not made a shark project folder in your animation blender folder, do that. Okay, so now I'm going to name this shark underscore Englade, and this is page 18. Okay. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add this top fin right here. So we're going to go to top view, number pad 7, and then we're going to press the Z key to enter into shading, the solid shading mode. Let's see, we want to, I did top, oh no, I did front view, sorry. Top view should look like that. So if your vertices are still selected like mine are, we're going to hit A to deselect those. We're going to go to Edge Select over here, and we are going to select these two edges. So it says to box select, but you could probably just click on them too. We want to do these two edges. I don't know why it selected that face. There it goes. Okay, so don't box select everything. Just, did you see what I did? I box selected just in the middle, like right there. And that way it only selects the edges and not the faces. All right. Okay, so now that we have those selected, I'm going to zoom in a bit by doing my middle mouse button, because now we're about to cut this this face. So I'm going to grab my knife over here. It's in the same menu as the subdivide was for the castle. So knife, and I'm going to stretch from, see how that turned green? I'm going to left click, and then I'm going to stretch it, that red line. I'm going to, and try to get it as straight as possible. And then I'm over here at the next edge to get that green dot. And then I click. Now the knife is still current, so I have to hit the space bar or the enter to set it down. Now I no longer have the knife. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead. This is for the top fin, so I'm going to grab a knife again, and that I'm going to cut from there. I left click to do that, and then I left click again. How do I set it down? I space bar. Okay, so now I have a new set of vertices. Okay. Then we're going to extrude this. So I'm just checking my directions real quick, make sure that we've done everything. So, all right, we've selected that. All right, so now we're ready to go into, let's go back to vertex mode. And let's deselect that, and let's box select just these two, because that's all we want essentially anyway. Okay, so let's go back into front view. Now remember we selected those, so we're about to extrude those up. Okay, so go back into one so we can kind of see our dimension. So we're going to extrude up just a little bit. Okay. Then we're going to extrude up again, kind of to the tip of the shark. We're going to press Z to go into wireframe mode. We're going to press A to deselect those. Okay. All right, so we are going to, it says to box select the vertice groups and move them as shown below. Make sure you use the box select key so that you are selected. Okay, so here's what they want us to do. So we're going to box select this bottom set of vertices, and we're going to grab it back until it reaches, and we could probably scale that down too if you wanted to. So it's a little bit too long, so I'm going to scale them down. till it reaches there. There we go. And then we're going to deselect those. Let's box select these up here and let's move it over, grab it, G, and then let's see. So we've always grabbed 2 sets of vertices, but it's okay to select 1 set of vertices. So we are, one set of vertices. So we are going to just select that. Now remember, we have selected that one back there too. And we're going to grab it and we're going to move it so it's like, just so it looks like a good fit. I think that looks good. Looking pretty good. All right, so let's go. We got to page 24 on that, so let's go ahead and save as, and let's save that as page 24 just as a backup file in case it ever messes up. We have something to rely back on. All right, we are going to focus on the tail area next. So before we do that, we want to make sure that it is this vertice is not selected. Okay, there we go. So we're going to box select this back set of vertices, and we are going to extrude until it gets to be about back here. And then we are going to switch to the side view, which is number pad 3. And we're going to hit the S button for scale and the Y for to keep it to the Y axis. And we're going to scale it down to about right there. So we're going to switch back to the top view, number pad 7. We're going to hit the A key to deselect all those. We're going to go Z key to shaded mode. Okay. And we're going to box select the top vertices on the tail only as shown. Okay, so what they want us to do is, okay, I want to make sure I didn't have any vertices selected. They want us to box select just this face, okay, that vertice. We're going to switch to front view, so number 1, and we are going to switch back to wireframe Z. We're going to extrude the vertices up, so E, there you go. We're going to deselect those, and we're going to box select these individually then. So we're going to box select that, grab them, and move it over like that. A, box select these 2 sets of vertices, grab G, and bring them over just like that. We're going to box select, so let's hit A, box select these 2 vertices, extrude, okay, and then we could box select, grab, oops, nope, A, box select, grab this one over here, A, box select this one, grab, and I believe we're going to keep doing that until we get to the end of the tail. Okay. Okay, so we are going to we're going to box select both of these vertices and extrude and to the tail. There we go. And then A, box select, grab G, and A, box select this one, grab till it's over like that. All right, so there we go. So the reason that we scaled that down is we want to make that a little bit thinner for that tail. So that's why we did that. Okay. So I believe what we're going to do, yes, it says to repeat this process for the bottom tail. You know what I'm not liking right here is I'm not liking that right there. So I'm just going to grab it and move it out. There, much better. Okay, I'm going to pause it. You go ahead and do the tail like we did on the top. Okay, so this is what your shark tail should look like. So let's go and save it. We are on page 31. Okay, 31. So what we're going to do now is we are going to make our side fins for our shark. So we're going to we're going to enter into shaded mode. We are going to press the A key so that no vertices are selected. We are going to go to Edge Select, and we're going to do the same thing on this face right here. We're going to take our knife, so grab your knife, and we're going to cut a new face for that. So I think I want it to be straight. Remember, the space bar is what sets it down. We're going to go ahead and grab our knife again, and about that wide or so. I'm going to go ahead and cut another face. Set it down with the space bar. All right. Okay. We're going to press A to deselect those. Then we're going to go into face select mode, which is right there. And we are going to select that new face. I right clicked to choose it. We're going to press the Z key to return to wireframe mode. Now we want to switch to top view, which I believe is number 7. Yes, number 7. We're going to extrude just a little bit initially. So we're going to extrude. Okay. And then we're going to extrude a little bit more. That looks good. And then we're going to extrude a third time. All right, so now what we're going to do is they're showing me in the directions that we're going to shape and kind of mold this according to what they give us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video. All I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go back to vertex select, and I'm going to be grabbing those, hit A to deselect those, and I'm going to be grabbing each of these vertices by box select, grabbing, moving, and doing the exact same thing that we did with the tail back there. And so I will pause it, so because you don't need to see me do all that, and then so you can have an idea of what you need to do. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so that's the shape that we went for. So these two vertices came in a little bit. These two vertices also came in a little bit. The last two sets of vertices, this one came down, and then this one that was over here came also down. So we're just trying to shape that fin a little bit. Then if you have not deselected everything, do that with A. But I want to box select these last two vertices at the bottom. We're going to go back to front mode, and they wanted us to use our blue widget arrow to just kind of move it down a little bit. We're just shaping the wing. See what that did? Okay, so, and that's kind of what a natural shark fin does. It kind of goes down. So that's how we do that with that blue widget arrow. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go and we are going to do the same thing to the other side. So we are going to go back to shaded mode. Let's deselect those first. Let's go back to shaded mode. We are going to go back to the other side view. So that is going to be a control. Hold down control and let's do a number 1. And we're going to go to edge select. Be nice if we could just duplicate that, right? Okay, we're going to go to an edge select and we're going to knife cut just like we did the other one. Okay, try to make it straight. Set it down with a space or an enter. Let's grab the knife again and do the same thing. I'm left clicking here and then I'm setting it down. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to deselect that. I'm going to go to face select and right click on that to select it. Then we're going to go to top view, number 7. And then we're going to extrude the 3 faces like we did for the other one. So we're just going to extrude. And let's do that. Extrude again. And extrude one more time. and then let's go back to vertex select, and then we can go back into wireframe mode. Now we're going to try to shape it the exact same way we did here, only it's going to go opposite. So I'm going to pause it again. I'm going to shape it so you can see what I'm going for. Okay, so here we are. So it's kind of a reflection of the other fin. I'm going to deselect that, and we just need to pull this one down a little bit. So I think instead of going to front view, we're going to do a control 1 to go to the side view. There we go. And so I've selected those front vertices, and I'm just going to bring it down just a little bit. And then I'm going to move the mouse button around and see whether those look the same. Yeah, they don't look too bad. I think I can probably do 3 too. There you go. I'm at 3. Oh, I could probably move that down just a little bit. All right. So let's go into solid shade mode and let's see what our shark looks like. My back tail doesn't quite seem. A back tail. Probably should have scaled that down a little bit. That back tail is really fat, but you know what? It'll make for a unique shark. I could probably scale that down a little bit. I'm just going to leave it. You know what? It's my shark, so I'm going to leave it. All right, let's go ahead and save this. We are on page 47 of 79. Wow, we're blowing right through this. So that is, what I say, 47? 47, whoops. 47. All right. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to work on the shark's mouth. So let's go back into Z. They're telling me too that that we no longer need that background image. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here and we're going to turn it off. Let's see, where is it? Right there. So now when we press 1, we won't. Oops. Now when we press 1, we won't see it anymore. Okay, so now they want us to grab by box selecting this set of vertices, and they want us to grab it so that it kind of looks like kind of like that. Okay, so keeping that highlighted, then we're going to box select this set of vertices down here as well. And we're going to extrude the bottom of the mouth as shown below. Okay, you ready? We're going to extrude that whole face. And we're going to extrude it out. Oh, I see what we're doing. Okay. Okay. We're going to press the A key to deselect all those vertices. And then we're going to box select the top, and we're going to move it up. So we're going to box select these, and we're going to grab them and move them up so they're about right there or so. And then we're going to grab the bottom vertices, so that. We're going to grab the bottom vertices, box select that, grab them and bring them up to kind of make it a more natural looking shark. There we go. We've just created a mouth. There we go. Just created a mouth of your shark. So Z key, so you can kind of see what happened there. All right, you know that mouth looks too big. I bet they're going to tell us to scale that down a little bit. I bet you any money. So they're saying to switch to number pad 3. So with this set of vertices still selected, the ones that we just moved, can you see how it's a little wide? We're going to scale that down so that it's just a little bit thinner. There we go. Oh yeah, that looks much better. And I think they're going to tell us to do the mouth as well. Above them. Okay, so press the A key, it says. Press the A key and select the top 2 vertices. Yeah, that's what I thought. So we're going to select, and if you can't see that, that's the thing in the mouth, yeah. So now we're going to scale that in a little bit too to make that mouth look a little bit more natural. So maybe right there. So I hit S to scale that in. So now when you look at this dimensionally, it looks a little bit more, kind of looks like a dolphin right now, doesn't it? Doesn't look like a shark for the most part. All right, let's go ahead and save this. That brought us to page 56. Save as 56. All right, tab out of edit mode, it's telling me. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to smooth this a little bit. So we're going to add a subsurface modifier to the shark object that will smooth. Select the shark object, it already is. Click on the Object Modifiers button in the Properties Editor. So you're looking for a little wrench. If you, oh, yep, I see it. So we're clicking on that. And we are going to add a modifier that says subdivision surface. I believe that's what we did for the sub as well. Under subdivisions, choose 4 for view, the number 4, whoops, 4, and we're going to choose 4 for render as well. Oh, that made it nice and smooth. In the Tools panel on the left, press the Smooth button in the Tools panel. Let's see. I don't know if you have this actually on your panel. I'm using 2.69 and you're using a different, a newer version. But if you do, hit Smooth. If you don't, it's not a huge deal. So now we're going to add some spheres to serve as the shark's eyes. Switch to front view, it says. Make sure your cursor is in there. Place, oh wow, look at the shark from that angle. That's really cool. Place your 3D cursor somewhere above the shark object. All right, so I'm doing what it says. There you go. Left click, put your 3D cursor. We're going to do a Shift A for mesh. Well, I don't know what the deal is. Shift A, there. My mouse isn't working. There it goes. It's just a little laggy. Mesh UV sphere. We want 32 segments and it says 32 rings. So 32 rings, see what it does. Oh yeah, that made it do much more. Scale the eye down quite a bit. Yes, I would say so. That looks like a really big, and you might have to do this more than once. So let's see, what is that? That look like a good eye? Ooh, that is way far out there. All right, move the sphere so it's partially outside the shark's body in the eye position as seen below. Okay, so I think I'm going to try to grab this and see if I can't move this over. Let's use my widget arrow. There we go, that's better. And I'm just going to, oops, no, I don't want to put it inside the shark. I'm going to middle mouse button around. Oh gosh, that was way off. I want to move it up and into the shark like this. It's getting close. Oh, I'm getting there. I'm going to pause this while I get it positioned, but we're going for the eye to be about right here. Okay, so you do that too as I'm doing. All right, so I have it positioned. You can kind of see I'm looking at it all around and it is positioned. We're going to click on that smooth button. I think yours too has a smooth that you can do on the UV shading tab over here. Notice I don't have any tabs because that was a new feature of the 2.7, I believe. And then we're going to duplicate for this, and then we are going to be done for this video. So we're going to go to side view, which is number 3. And we are going to, with that object selected, which it is, we are going to hit Shift D, and we can move that eye right over here. Let's see. Have it be, I don't know. It kind of looks like it's in the, let's see if it's, yeah. It looks like it's about in the right place. Okay, so we duplicated that eye. And so we never did name that. So let's find our sphere. Our first sphere was our right eye. And that duplicated sphere is your left eye. Okay. All right, so we got to page 61 of the modeling. So let's go ahead and save as, and I'm going to stop this video for this 61. All right, I'll see you in the next video.